What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. So, coming in to the first ever LCS lock-in tournament, a lot of people just didn't know what to expect. Was this going to be a serious tournament where teams were really going all out? Was this going to be a meme for fun tournament that was just going to end up being really dumb? Maybe something like even All-Stars or something like that, you know? We weren't really sure how teams were going to take it. Hopefully, they were going to try their best. Hopefully, they were going to go super, super hard. You know, money's on the line. Respect. You don't want to get flamed. Also, it's just really, really good practice. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing this whole tournament. The more games you win, the more games you play, the more practice you get, especially with stage experience, heading in to the real season. I think that is extremely valuable, and I think teams should be playing for that as well. But also, I believe there's $150,000 at the end of the line, which is not nothing. Whatever you thought about going in the tournament, you know, going into it, I think now, you know that the lock-in tournament has been a huge success. It has been an absolute banger. And this CLOUD9 100 Thieves series that we're going to be breaking down in today's video was just another reason, if not, you know, the biggest reason for that so far. This series was so much fun. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys are not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. It's fast, it's free, it's easy, helps you guys stay up to date on all my latest content, and I would appreciate it so much. We're getting closer and closer to 6,300 subscribers. You guys are running those numbers up like crazy. Hey, if we hit 6,300 before the end of January, you got 2 days left. That would be super dope. Also, drop a like on this video if you do enjoy it. If you just want to help support my content, my channel, me, that'd be dope as well. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. With that being said, let's get right into this. This was the most fun and exciting part of the LCS lock-in tournament so far. Hopefully it won't be the best part. Hopefully that's still yet to come. I don't know. My hopes aren't that high for the EGTL series today. But maybe, you know, TL in the finals against one of these teams. That would be super exciting. But yeah, I mean, this series is absolutely crazy. At times, first of all, just Cloud9 coming off the TSM series where they went to Game 3. That was super fun. And then this series going Game 5. You know, Cloud9 is absolutely maximizing their stage time in the lock-in tournament. And that's awesome. This series was so back and forth. Absolutely insane plays from both teams. Huge plays from so many different players in the series. But also, insane drafts from teams and terrible drafts from both teams. Also, terrible plays from both teams. I mean, so many things that are just questionable. Like, I mean, it really did look like two teams playing in a preseason tournament. Not that they're not trying, because, I mean, we heard from, like, Zven afterwards that, you know, they thought those were the best drafts. They were trying their absolute hardest. They absolutely wanted to win, just their competitive drive and spirit and everything. But it looked like two teams that were rusty, you know, that haven't played a ton yet, that are still trying to figure out the meta, how to play together. You know, Season 11's way different. And also, you know, maybe you are limit testing a little bit more in a series like this, but both teams really wanted to win. You could tell 100 Thieves was really bummed that they lost. Cloud9 was so pumped up to win. So let's check out some of these games. So we take a look at the first game. This one was a banger, and Cloud9 came out with a draft that I really liked from Cloud9. You know, they have Fudge on Lulu in the top lane. Obviously, Fudge has kind of been a weak point for this team, so putting him on something that can enable the rest of the team, especially when you have Blabber on a massive carry like Kindred that he is so good on. I respect Blabber Kindred so much, and I was so scared for 100 Thieves in this one. I thought you know, Blabber was going to be able to run this game over with the Lulu healing and shielding, with the shielding from Orianna, with all that setup. I thought this was going to be a good one for Cloud9, but 100 Thieves got a comp that I really like for them as well. I think Demonte Gallio is so good and really helps enable this team. And Olaf might be the most broken champion in the game. It seems like every time he gets through, he's able to just dominate. Obviously, 8-1 game from Misfortune. FBI, he came out swinging. And it was a pretty easy win for 100 Thieves to start off the series. You know, and this is kind of what I expected. I did predict 100 Thieves 3-2 series win. You know, I thought it was going to Game 5. I was close. 100 Thieves honestly almost pulled out the sweep, but obviously Cloud9 came back with the just amazing reverse sweep to obviously end it. But yeah, so that was just my predictions coming in. So far, that's kind of what I expected. I expected 100 Thieves to be a better team, even though I think Cloud9 is probably a more talented team. I just thought 100 Thieves have been playing better recently, and in Game 1, that's what it was looking like. Game 2, this was one of those big troll drafts from Cloud9. Obviously, they brought out the Graves top. The Udyr jungle actually looked really good throughout this series. Blabber was actually a beast on it. It's actually, you know, I don't want to believe it, but it is a pretty strong pick right now. Also, the Seraphine Tark bot lane was pretty decent. Like, you could see how it could work, especially paired up with the Yone. But Fudge on the Graves top just did absolutely nothing. I mean, it went exactly how you'd expect a Graves top to go. Huge top diff from Someday on the Renekton. He was up huge CS a lot. FBI closer, good games again. He looking pretty decent. The only thing was Demonte. I wasn't in love with his rise. He had some good realm warps and stuff. But when we're talking about these, semi-global champions, Galio and Twisted Fate are so busted right now. Rise is okay if you're really great at Rise, but I'm not super convinced of Demonte's Rise. And yes, he does have a, semi-global with his Realm Warp once he gets to like level 11, but I really don't think he's in that same category. But this was 100 Thieves showing, that they're willing to go to the Rise, and yes, they were able to win a game with the Rise, but I wasn't in love with it, and I didn't want him to keep going back to it. In Game 3, this is where CLOUD9, their backs were against the wall. They needed to pull out a win. This was where we were going to see, what Perks and CLOUD9, all these guys were really made of, what they were going to be able to pull out. And I really think that the guys like Perks and Zven, who have been here, done this before, played in all these series, 100 Thieves is still a relatively inexperienced young team. And CLOUD9 has these insane veterans that have, been all over the world. They've been doing this. So, if they were going to have an advantage in this series, it was going to be their experience, their talent, and just their prowess in best of fives over the course of series, not tilting, being able to adjust and adapt on the fly. And that is really what we saw in this Game 3. Again, we saw the Udyr Blabber pulling that out again, 6-2-12, a huge game for him. Perks with his back up against wall, the 8-4 on Yone. I mean, he's pretty nasty on this Yone. Just, they're still trying to exactly figure out, the limit testing and everything. Then we saw the support Senna from Zven just doing an insane amount of damage paired up with the Tom Kench. That looked disgusting. And then again, the Fudge Lulu, I actually do like, especially if Fudge, isn't performing super well and stuff, throwing him on the Lulu, being able to make him useful, even if lane phase doesn't go well or anything like that, can be good. And in this game, CLOUD9 just absolutely snowballed out of control. 100 Thieves was in the driver's seat. They had every chance to win this game, and they really did throw the game and the series by not kind of pulling off this one. And just really after this, it looked like 100 Thieves was pretty tilted. I mean, after this game, Closer completely disappeared pretty much the rest of the series. Demonte looked really rough the rest of the series. And headed into Game 3, people were freaking out about 100 Thieves. People were saying, oh, 100 Thieves is insane. They're legit. He's the second best support in the LCS. They were just, everyone was talking of 100 Thieves. Everyone was hyping them up. And then CLOUD9 started shutting people up real quick. It was crazy. Then we go to Game 4 and the big play of this one. Let's check this out. At this point, CLOUD9's already up big. Zven gets the big misfortune ultimate through the entire team, and they are able to close out the game after the pentakill from the misfortune, and that was absolutely so hyped to see. And that was just hilarious. Zven stepping up huge. He was the player of the series, and rightfully so. So many big plays made throughout. I really like this composition from CLOUD9 again. We got to see Vulcan on Bard. He looked insane on that 1-1 and 12. He had such a good game. But the Zven misfortune, Zven really stepped up the rest of the series once CLOUD9 got their backs against the wall. Fudge got just destroyed in this Camille Jax matchup, but that's kind of what you expect. Jax is supposed to win that hard. And 100 Thieves just did not play around that well. My biggest problem with 100 Thieves in this game is that they got Galio. They got Set. He is insane on Set. It is probably his best champion, Set support. Demonte is great at Galio. It is probably his second best champion. I think Twisted Fate is still the best answer for Demonte right now. And, they finally went away from the Rise. They went Rise in Game 2, didn't look great. They went Rise in Game 3, didn't look great. They finally get the Galio, and they send the Set mid, and they send the Galio support. That made absolutely no sense to me. It looked really bad. And again, Someday got ahead. They weren't really able to do anything with it. Demonte didn't do anything on the Set. He didn't do anything on the Galio. And again, that was just a really weird decision, a really weird draft from 100 Thieves. They got the champions that they wanted. They got the comfort picks. Closer Talia. Someday just stomping on the They got Galio, got Set. It was just super weird. Obviously, CLOUD9 capitalized on that. They took advantage. But again, Perk stepping up big. I think Twisted Fate is honestly one of the best champions in League of Legends right now. They really made the most of that, being able to help out Fudge in the side lanes and stuff. But yeah, the bot lane for CLOUD9 really stepping up big. And obviously, that took us to Silver Scrapes Game 5. So hyped, so exciting. This series, really delivered. I thought this one was going to be so exciting. I predicted to go to Game 5. I thought these teams were were both really evenly matched. I thought 100 Thieves was not as good, but playing super well coming into the series. I thought Cloud9 were way better, but playing not so well, or not as good as they can coming in this series. So I thought it was just, a recipe for a 5-game banger. And, I was definitely right, but I wish some of these games would have been a little bit closer. It was like 100 Thieves was kind of stomping, and then randomly Cloud9 just took over and started stomping after game 3. But yeah, we got to game 5, and then this is where, our guy Zven stepped up big once again, which is just absolutely crazy. We saw a crazy engage by Huhi on the Rel. They go through the whole Misfortune ultimate, and they weren't really able to kill anybody, but Zven does Gale Force in, picks up the first kill, ends up getting the triple kill. They're running down Damonte on the rise, see if he's going to give the Penta. Everyone's fighting for it, and Zven was able to get the back-to-back Pentakills with Cloud9's back against the wall, which was just insane. It was hilarious. It locked up Zven for player of the series, obviously. When you get 2 Pentakills, it's hard to not go with him, but he was just so consistent throughout this entire series. Again, Cloud9 got down 2-0. They were down in game 3. They could have so easily given up. Preseason tournament, who cares about it? They didn't have to fight all the way back. But again, having Perks, having Zven, the guys, the veterans who have been there, they really stepped up their level of play. 12-1 for Zven on the Misfortune. Perks getting the Twisted Fate again, 6-1-13. Again, another draft I don't love from 100 Thieves. They gave away Camille, Galio, and Twisted Fate, which, just didn't make a ton of sense to me. Because, again, yes, they have the Jax Camille in the top lane, but Cloud9 has 2 semi-globals to help support that Camille on pretty much anything they do. So it's hard for Jax to ever get aggressive, for him to ever kind of punish his lead. We see Damonte with the 1-7 on Rise. I don't know why they keep going back to the Rise on him when you have the Twisted Fate open, when you have the Galio open. It just didn't make a lot of sense. 100 Thieves really, I guess, doesn't understand their identity completely. Maybe they just want to try out some champions. I don't know. Yeah, and then the Vayne pick from FBI seemed really desperate. The Huhi Rel, I was not obsessed with. Again, I don't know why they're going to Rel when you have stuff like Set open. It's just really weird to me. 100 Thieves made a lot of weird decisions in game. Like I said, Closer and Damonte just absolutely disappeared as the series went on. Huhi looked like a smurf in games 1 and 2. He looked not so great in games 4 and 5. But again, this was just an absolute banger of a series. It was a ton of fun. Cloud9, they really did step up. They looked great. It was a huge series win from them. Congrats. They're making it to the finals. They're trying to prove themselves as, the second best team in the LCS, because there have been some people who are maybe, picking against them a little bit now. Now they're going to have a chance to be the best team in the LCS. It is all possible that they take down Team Liquid in the finals, because this team is very talented. But, man, my main takeaway from the series is that Fudge, it's not looking good. He does not look LCS ready. Yes, he is the youngest player in the LCS, but let's remember that the youngest player previously was Spica on TSM last year. Just because you were the youngest player in the LCS does not mean you have to look terrible. Like, the good players with some promise show some signs of it and show some games where they absolutely pop off. And Fudge has had like 1 good game in the LCS so far, maybe 2. Like, for a guy like him who came in talking all the trash, saying everyone's brain dead, saying NA is going to be easy, to be looking as bad as he does right now is definitely a worrying sign for me. And yes, he's super young. He has a chance to develop. He has a chance to get better. Just because you are a young player does not mean you automatically get better. Does not mean you automatically develop. We've seen guys come into the league like Mike Young, guys like that, where they come in and they just never get better. They even get worse once they come into the league. He does show a ton of promise and everything, because obviously he dominated in Academy. But so far, whether it's the pressure, the nerves, or whatever getting to him, he's not stepping up on stage, and that is a bad side for Cloud9, a team that spent all this money on Perks, and they have high hopes and high aspirations. They want to win titles. They want to make it to Worlds. They want to do damage. And right now, good luck. Like, I'm just thinking to the finals, if TL does win, or even if Evil Geniuses wins, Fudge going up against Impact, Fudge going up against Alfari, I don't know, man. That's not going to end well for Cloud9. So I hope for this kid that he can start stepping it up, and really for the whole Cloud9 team, that this kid starts stepping up and starts showing something, because they're trying to hide him on some picks like the Lulu, maybe some different stuff like that, like the Ornn, but even that's not looking great. Yes, when they get Camille Galio, he can look decent, but man, rough start to the season for Fudge. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. I would appreciate it so much. Really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this series? Do you think 100 Thieves threw? Do you think Cloud9 was insane and just had a great comeback? Do you think Cloud9 is going to beat whoever in the finals? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay updated on my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!